read The Dip by Seth Godin for you, and I'm going to give you the simple steps applied to your own life so you can stop feeling stuck. Have you recently started something, a career, a relationship, a side hustle, and now all of a sudden it feels like it just sucks? You're not growing, you feel frustrated, and you just wonder if you should just give it up altogether. In the book, he explains why this happens, and he's giving advice on how to either quit strategically or push through it. The typical advice is don't quit. That's the standard advice that you will hear all over the internet. Just don't quit, keep going, you eventually will get there. This is different. So let's break it down a little bit. First, why do you feel like giving up? Feel free to skip to the chapters that interest you the most. I put bookmarks in it, but if you are really unsure, I suggest you watch the whole video from beginning to end, because you might gonna see something that is actually gonna give a little light bulb to your situation that you're in. As in any scenario, it's always important to know why, because if we know why, we can obviously change it. So why do we feel stuck? When you start something, your motivation is extremely high, but then at some point you feel stuck. You realize no one is buying from your business. You're not seeing the results after going to the gym for a while. You are not getting the relationship after being on 100 dates, and you just feel stuck. You're just like, when is this happening? When is the reward coming? Because I'm losing interest in this. At this point, you have two choices. Either you're going to quit strategically or you're going to push through. Either way, you need to make a decision, because that is the only way how you're going to feel unstuck. Because when you make a decision, whether it's quitting strategically because you're realizing there's no payoff, it is the smartest way to make a decision and to say, this isn't it for me, I'm quitting right now, I can use my resources elsewhere. But if you feel like, I'm super into it, there's something going on, and it's not a delusion in my head, but it's actually something that I'm either super passionate about, I'm invested in, I know that I have the skill of, and I'm motivated to push and keep going, then pushing through might be the right choice. But either way, let's look at examples to make it more realistic in your real life. The first one is business. Most people quit because they don't have the resilience, they run out of resources, they don't have the skill, they don't feel it, they just say this isn't worth it and they quit. And that's why 97% of entrepreneurs fail. And that is a crazy high number, but it's mostly because people quit either too early or realize that they don't have the resources. And Seth Godin actually explains this, how it really separates the 1% from everyone else. But this doesn't mean that you should not quit. Let's first determine, when does it make sense to keep going? One example is the gym. Most people start off really excited, they go to the gym, and then they realize, oh my gosh, it's taking way longer than I anticipated. I'm not seeing results, I'm not fit yet, I'm not feeling better even, I actually feel sore, I'm not feeling well. And that's when people quit. They stop going to the gym. You see it in January, the gyms are packed, and around February, March, the gyms are getting emptier by the day. And this is where it really separates the ones that push through, that want to win, and the ones that just give up because they don't have the endurance. So pushing through can be an amazing thing because you're gonna see results. But not always is that the right choice. The first thing you should ask yourself, is this something I care about? Do I care about my business? Do I care about this relationship? Do I care about having a healthier routine for myself? Do I care about it? Or is it simply driven by monetary value? Am I just doing this business because I'm hoping for it to make money? Am I doing this business because I'm hoping for it to give me results that are out of this world? Am I doing this business because I want my parents to be proud? What is the reason that you keep going? Is it just monetary value, or is it something that you're truly interested in? Another question you can ask yourself, is there potential for growth? For example, are you going to grow as a person, or is the business going to grow? Is this going to expand your life? Is this relationship adding to your life, or you just want a relationship because everyone apparently wants a relationship? And if the answer is yes to all these questions, you should definitely keep going, because you have something that is worth working for. But let's get into the why it's not worth it to keep going, why it actually can hurt you to keep going. And let's talk about something that will help you strategically quit to actually improve and to make you feel less stuck. Nowadays, where we want everything today, we cannot wait a day. We're instantly wanting something right now. We want results now in this instant gratification. You can ask yourself, am I just being super impatient, or is this a dead end? Does whatever I'm working on right now drains me more than it gives me joy? Does it bring me anxiety? Does it bring me stress? Does it bring me overwhelm? Is this the overbearing percentage of your feelings right now? Because those feelings are extremely valid. It's not just about, oh, it's going to be extremely horrible for the next 10 years and then eventually you just have to push everything under the rug and just be strong and don't be a weak person because you're thinking only weak people quit. But that is not true. Actually, smart people make the right decisions. When you think about the thing that you're currently working on, whether it's your business, a relationship, a side hustle, think about it. Did you make it up in your head way bigger than it is? Did you create something in your head that you will never attain? Is that something that's so out of this world that you will never actually reach it? And now you created this idea in your head that you will never reach, that it's so overwhelming that you will never attain what you created in your head. It even prevents you from working on it because you just want it to be so perfect because it's living in your head and you just feel so stuck that you can't even work towards it anymore. Maybe you've been working it for so long that you feel like I need to keep going. I already invested so much. I'm already like so deep into this relationship. I can't throw it away. I would have to restart. Or maybe the values don't align with you anymore. Maybe you made a decision years ago to start something and you realize, you know what, actually cooking doesn't interest me anymore, but now I'm so deep in, I keep going. Or it's a project that you started that you don't feel like it's really what you want to do anymore. Because we as people we change our interests, and sometimes we have to let go of projects to free our mind to actually do certain things that lift us up, that gets us free space to actually work on something that's going to give us purpose and that's going to give us the idea of, oh, I actually feel excited about this. I don't feel ever stuck. I don't mind the extra work. I don't mind the extra burden on pushing through because I am so excited about this. So let me give you an example. I mean, who would I be if I didn't have a weird example? Let's pretend this is your project right now. You've been working on it every day and you just cannot get it done. You're so over it. It's just taking so freaking long. And you realize, oh my goodness, this is taking way more time and energy than I anticipated. And you're done. You're over it. You don't want to do it anymore. And you're just thinking, should I keep going or not? The worst part is you realize you didn't just invest all this time, but you already made the back end of the sweater. And that's so much time, resources, and everything. And you just realizing, by the way, I hate the blue I put in. And now it's the question, should I keep going because I'm going to have a sweater that I might not even like? Or should I quit? But then I wasted all this resources. I wasted all this material that I used to create this. And now I am really conflicted because if I keep going, I'm going to put more resource in it. More resources because I'm going to use all these resources to actually get the sweater done. I might not even like the sweater, and then what? I made this whole thing, wasted all my resources. And that's the time when you really should think about, should I quit? Should I quit? Because putting more energy into something just because you already put energy and resource into it is not the right decision, especially if you're not going to like the end result. You have multiple options. Now you can either say, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to use the remaining resources and create something new. I'm going to start making some socks because I actually need socks. I don't need a sweater. You can use those resources and give it to someone who's going to make something better because let's be real, the knitting skills aren't that great. Or you can acknowledge and say, I've learned so much with this, but it's time for me to focus on something else. Because the more resources I put into it, the unhappier I'm going to get because I'm going to be so deep into this, that it's going to be harder and harder to quit because I realize so much energy has been going into this project. And at the end of the day, we don't even like blue. But if you decide you want to push through and you want to continue making this sweater because it's just like a little downsy, but at the end of the day, you're going to love the sweater. You're going to feel warm. It's going to give you benefits in ways that you're not just proud of yourself for finishing a project, but you're just also going to have a benefit from it. Just know that there is ways for you that will help you get through the dip. And the best thing I've been doing is, and hopefully this will help you too, is stop raising the bar. I used to raise the bar so much when I had a business. I would keep saying, oh, I want to make this much money. Oh, next month I want this much and this. And I was never satisfied because I kept raising the bar. And I would almost sometimes achieve it, sometimes I didn't. And it would just be constantly frustrating. And so instead of always raising the bar, which we naturally intend to do, start focusing on the small wins and really celebrate them. Being like, damn, today I did 2 rows. This is exciting. We're getting closer to the sweater. Today I made a sale. That's amazing. Today I made a friend. That's an awesome accomplishment. Like whatever the project is that you're currently working on, start focusing on the small wins and celebrate them. It really is going to help you because there's going to be so many more dips. It's not just one dip. You're going to be confronted with so many dips in your life, and the best way to get through them is to really celebrate the small wins and the accomplishments that you achieved. Another thing that people always say on the internet, why do strangers support me more than people I know? And the reason is because people that know you, people who are close in your circle, have a stake in your happiness. They have a stake in your financials. And so they are more concerned if you say, I'm going to quit this job. They're going to be more worried for you because they have a stake in your life. People on the internet, they can be like, yeah, you should quit, do it. But if something happens, if you end up being really broke, or you being super heartbroken, or you've been just miserable, they're not going to be the ones that are going to be around you to experience that. And as much as that sucks, it really is the reality. So sometimes it is hard to quit because we are worried about the people who are close in our circle going to not understand us. And I think if you think about quitting, for example, your job, I would highly suggest, because it's going to be a tough one, not just for yourself, but for the people around you as well. And you realize, hey, this is not the job I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm not equipped to do this anymore. I'm not feeling well. This is not serving me in any form or way, or this project, or this relationship. It's always good to understand that people around you just care about you. And sometimes you can help them. For example, if you quit your job, you can say, hey, I'm quitting this job, but actually I'm having 3 more interviews this week because I want something else. That's going to put their mind at ease. If you quit your business, don't feel ashamed. So many people quit their business. I quit my business because I was mentally not in a good space and I had to quit it. It was making a lot of money and I had to quit it. And it was hard for some people around me to understand. A lot of people had a lot of understanding because of the situation I was going through, but still, some people were like, why would you quit this? It's crazy. I just had to make that decision. And so sometimes you make a decision that people around you will not agree, and that's okay. Just know, for you to not feel stuck and not fall into a hole, it's always good to feel up, okay, I'm quitting this relationship. I'm going to put all this energy now back into myself. I'm quitting this project. I'm going to start a different project. I'm not going to go to the gym anymore because I don't like the gym mentality. I don't like it there. But you know what? I'm going to go for a run once a week or whatever. Just try to find different opportunities for you to keep going because you don't want to fall into a hole of misery and not feeling like you can get out of. I know this is a weird example, but I am going to keep knitting because it brings me joy, even though it frustrates me. As you can tell, I have made a lot of mistakes. Is something I started doing to quit my phone scrolling time. And just know there's going to be a lot of dips, and every time there's a dip coming, you have a choice. It's all in your control, which is amazing. That's the biggest learning I can give, or I want you to take your heart, that you have a choice. Sometimes we can't make a decision right away, but we can work towards making that decision. And that's the best feeling of not feeling stuck. I hope this helped. I know this is weird, but I just don't know how to explain it better. I could have made a graph, but I thought this was easier. I don't know. Alrighty. Well, good luck.